NYGATS training, qualified independent party specific instructions. In this training, we'll cover an overview of qualified independent party reporting instructions, the documentations required when registering as a QIP, reporting generation, prior period adjustments, and feasibility failures. A qualified independent party is defined in the NYGATS operating rules as a reporting entity that is the control area operator, interconnecting utility, scheduling coordinator, or independent third-party meter reader, and is not affiliated with the owner of the generation for which the entity is reporting, or the control area operator or interconnecting utility that is affiliated with the generator owner but having sufficient segregation of duties such that the person performing the QIP duties does not have access to transfer or retire certificates created for the generator. Documentation required when registering as a QIP. A QIP must be assigned to projects that do not self-report and that are not reported by NYSO. The QIP should assign a unique QIP ID number for every project they report generation. This number will be entered into the project's registration by the account holder. When a QIP creates a QIP account in NYGATS, the NYGATS administrator will validate that QIPs are qualified to serve as a QIP in NYGATS. The NYGATS administrator will request an attestation letter from the QIP with the following information: a description of their business model, a methodology for how meter data is read pursuant to the guidelines found on the NYGATS informational website, an attestation that the projects the QIP is looking to report data for are not owned, operated, or affiliated by the QIP other than to read the meters and report the generation to NYGATS. We want to ensure the QIP's main business model is meter reading, tracking generation, and that have no ownership interest in the project or the certificates. They should also not be a marketer or broker. Ultimately, we want to make sure that they have no conflict of interest. A qualified independent party will be assigned to a project registration by the account holder. The QIP is responsible for verifying information that will be reported for the project. The QIP account cannot hold certificates. Reported generation data should be financial settlement quality data from revenue quality meters, which would include ANSI C12 compliant meters. Generation data from the meter must be collected by the QIP via direct physical read or directly transmitted to the QIP by digital machine-to-machine transmission, such as telemetry or internet connection. Please see the Qualified Independent Party Guidelines posted on the NYGATS website for detailed guidelines and additional assistance. Reporting generation. The Qualified Independent Party will report monthly generation using comma-separated value, otherwise known as CSV, or Notepad, otherwise known as TXT formats. The format for the data file is detailed in the Qualified Independent Party Guidelines posted on the NYGATS website. The fields for the generation file are as follows. NYGATS ID. The NYGATS ID number is assigned to the project by NYGATS during the project registration. Do not include the project type prefix that precedes the ID, GEN, AGG, IMP, etc. QIP ID. The QIP ID is an ID assigned by the Qualified Independent Party. This must be a unique field for each project registered in the QIP account. Vintage. Vintage is month and year of generation, formatted as month, month, year, 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 year. If using Excel, month, month, year, year, year cells will be reformatted each time the file is open. The cell format will need to be adjusted back to the designated format every time the file is opened in Excel. We recommend opening CSV files in Notepad to prevent the format error. Begin date. The begin date is formatted month, day, year of generation. This is the first day of the reporting month. End date. The end date is formatted month, day, year. This is the last day of the reporting month. Total megawatt hours. This is the total monthly generation in megawatt hours for the reporting month. QIPs reporting hourly generation data for import projects must use the following CSV file format to report hourly meter readings. The NYGATS ID number assigned to the project, the QIP ID, QIP assigned ID must be unique to the project. Date is the date of generation, formatted in a month, day, year format. Hour of generation, output formatted as 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. It's in standard time, no skipping an hour or adding an extra hour. And total megawatt hour, which is the total megawatt hours for the reported hour. A QIP can only load data for projects that have designated the QIP in the registration with a QIP assigned by the QIP account manager. The qualified independent party must assign a unique QIP ID for each project they report. The list of projects assigned to the QIP can be located in the QIP's meter data loading module. From the Qualified Independent Party Account's Meter Data Loading Module, select the Meter Data Loading Module's Choose File button. This displays a pop-up screen where the data file can be selected. After selecting a file, the user selects the Upload button to upload the generation data for the project. Before posting the generation data to the NYGATS database, the system validates uploaded data. When all validations are successfully completed, the data is loaded into the database and written to the generation activity log. NYGATS validates that the generation data is technically feasible and whether a fuel allocation needs to be reported. If these validations are triggered, a warning will be generated requiring additional information from the account holder or QIP. Prior period adjustments. Occasionally, there may be debits and credits in the current period as data is finalized or resettled, requiring a prior period adjustment. The prior period adjustment can be reported by the QIP via the Meter Data Loading module. Press the Adjustment radio button to load data for vintages that have already issued certificates. Select the Meter Data Loading module's Choose File button to display a pop-up screen where the data file can be selected. After selecting a file, the user selects the Upload button to upload the prior period adjustment data for the project. Prior period adjustment data should reflect total monthly generation. NYGATS will calculate the adjustment using the certificates previously issued. If the NYGATS certificates are created resulting from an adjustment, the vintage of the certificates shall reflect the month and year of the generation being adjusted. If the certificates must be debited, fewer certificates will be created for the current period. After the settlement date associated with the vintage year, no further adjustments will be accepted by the NYGATS administrator. Validity check, feasibility failure. NYGATS will conduct an automatic electricity production data validity check in order to assure that erroneous and technically infeasible data is not entered into NYGATS. The data validity check will compare reported electricity production to an engineering estimate of maximum potential production, calculated as a function of nameplate capacity, capacity factor, and duration. If data reported exceeds an estimate of technically feasible generation by more than 2%, the NYGATS administrator will require the account holder to submit either settlement reports or meter readings to verify the reported generation. Additional information on the qualified independent party account type or data reporting can be located in the NYGATS operating rules and qualified independent party guidelines posted on the NYGATS informational website. Additional information about your NYGATS account can be accessed in the operating rule located on the NYGATS website or by contacting the NYGATS administrator at nygats@apx.com or by phone at 408-643-0167.